everyone.
Hello.
Welcome back to our channel. I'm Nikki.
And I'm Rachel, and we are the Stitch Sisters. And we're so excited to be filming a new video for you today because we know it's been a few weeks.
It has, but we've been very busy.
Very busy, yes.
We've been filming a brand new class to come to you guys, and I feel as if we've just coming to the surface again after the deep dive that is filming. Yeah. And the initial start of the editing. The editing isn't finished yet, so we're still a few weeks away, but it has been keeping us very busy.
It has, it's been keeping us really busy. So like Nikki said, we're still at least a good few weeks away from having the whole thing ready. And by the time it does come out, it probably would have been the class that we've spent the most time on.
Yes.
Because there was a really detailed planning stage, and we've just gone about things in a really kind of methodical way, like
more
a
organised,
much more technical approach to it. We feel like proper filmmakers.
I know. It has been really strange, this one. I think that we've almost gotten into our stride now with it, even though it's been a while because of lockdown and everything. We haven't been able to film for a while.
But this will be our 21st class. So, we've learned a few things along the way, and I think we're finally, finding our stride. But we can probably now tell you, because up until now we haven't actually told anybody what the class is about.
It's a secret.
So it's aimed at beginners, and it's actually a beginner's guide to dressmaking. So a bit like our companion to shirt making class, where the idea was that you could follow along with any sewing pattern and just get all of the details, all of the tips, tricks and methods that you could use to create the best possible shirt.
Yes.
So this is like that, but for beginner dressmakers. So we really break down all the steps of construction, all the terminology, and make it really easy.
All the stuff that the pattern companies and the pattern itself assumes that you know.
Yeah.
So things like that you know what a dart is, that you know what understitching is, that you know what easing is, that you know what all of those things are, and it doesn't explain it to you. Yeah. So we've kind of taken it from where we finished off with our guide to patterns and kind of then deep dived into the pattern.
Well, actually, it probably fits before guide to patterns, doesn't it? So it kind of sandwiches in between learn to sew and guide to patterns.
Yes.
So we do a brief overview of sewing patterns and how to use them and all that kind of stuff in this class, but we don't go into that side of things in as much detail as we do in the guide to patterns class. But this is kind of all the other bits that don't get explained, and really breaking it down into the simplest possible terms. And then for the more tricky things, for instance, inserting zips or doing buttonholes, we give you our best methods for doing that. So you're not reliant on how well written the instructions are in that particular pattern.
Or not.
Yes, you can figure out a method that you're comfortable with, that you're confident with, and you can just go on and do that. So we know that for a lot of you guys, this class isn't necessarily going to be aimed at you, for you who have been sewing for a while. It's probably going to be too basic. But if you know of any new sewers out there, lots and lots of people took it up over the last year.
Exactly.
To make sure you tell them that it's coming and that it's awesome.
And it will be. It's definitely our best class yet. So big high five for that.
Woo! We can't wait to get it out.
So today we've got a very different style of video for you, because we just felt like, because we've obviously not been present on YouTube and not very much on Instagram or anything like that with doing the class, but we both have still been sewing, and this is what has happened. So these are just the things that we have individually sewn since our guide to spring trend. What can't remember what it was called. It was
our spring outfit try on.
Yeah. So since then we basically picked everything that we've made, and now we're going to give it another try on for you.
Yes. Now I need to tell you that Nikki's is 2/3 of that rail. She's been doing a lot more sewing than I have. As some of you already know, I am having some health problems at the moment. Just means that a lot of my sewing time, I'm just not up for it. I'm not really well enough.
I feel like I'm doing it for the both of us.
Yeah, exactly. And to be honest, it has helped, because when I know that Nikki's sewing and she's like sewing up a storm and she's got like 5 things made, it kind of makes me find the strength to be like, I want to sew.
I'm just going to go and sew that collar on, and then that's enough. Just small steps. This is our new motto. Anything that moves your project or whatever you're doing forward is a step in the right direction.
Exactly.
No matter how small it is, you're always moving forward. And that's the thing. Even with dressmaking and all the big projects, it can all be relevant.
Yeah, So today we thought we'd show you all the things that we have sewed, but coming up very soon, next chance we get to film, we both have very, very long to sew lists at the moment. We've got so much stuff that we're planning on sewing.
I've got 14 things on my to make list.
Yes, and I've not counted mine, so don't know exactly, but it's probably something similar.
Yeah.
So we think for the next video what we'll do is we'll share our plans, we'll show you the fabrics and the patterns, and let you know exactly what we have in mind.
Yes.
And then we can bring you another one of these, hopefully, where we can show you all the stuff that we've made. So that's all very exciting.
It is exciting.
And so should we just jump straight in? Let's dive in. We're going to show you everything. When we finish talking through everything, we're going to try on all of the outfits. So we'll intersect as we're talking with pictures
and
videos of them as we go. So you better start, because I think Nikki might need to do 2 for every one of mine.
Well,
so
shall I start? I'll start with one shirt that I made. Well, one pattern of a shirt that I made, but I've actually made 3 of the same pattern. So that will get a good few done to begin with.
Can I ask a really important question?
Yes.
Have you tried any of these 3
yes,
shirts on?
all of them.
Excellent.
I am terrible. I am terrible. What I do is I'm so excited about the actual making process. That's my favourite bit. And I'm almost disappointed when I get to the point where it's finished, because I've then got the pressure of then what am I going to sew next, and it's that part that I really enjoy. And so I'll make things and she'll say, have you tried it on? I'll go, no, I've just put it in my wardrobe, it's fine.
Sometimes she'll try it on for weeks, and it's so weird because I'm so the opposite. I try things on maybe 20 times whilst I'm making it. Often because I need to make fit adjustments.
I don't need to. That's
but sometimes because I just want to make sure I like it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's fit adjustments. Sometimes I don't quite like how it's sitting on me. I don't quite like the style as much as I thought. And obviously you can hack it and change things as you go if you try it on.
Yeah.
But I'm so used to doing that. That's part of my process. Yeah. And I would never dream of hemming or top stitching or anything like that until I know for a fact that it is staying and I'm keeping it exactly as it is. Whereas you'll start to finish.
I'm complete opposite.
Whereas I just think that's potentially triple the amount of unpicking if I'm not happy.
Yeah, I know. I think because I am lucky in the fact that generally patterns tend to fit me out of the box, so I don't have to do a lot of fit adjustments.
Yeah.
So
we both need to do bust adjustments, and we probably should do more of them than we actually do.
Yes.
But sometimes a lot of styles you get away without.
Yeah, especially at the minute everything's oversized. You need to do bust adjustments. Actually, let's start with what we're wearing.
Okay.
This is all kind of
something on. Yeah.
Remade, and it's the kind of thing, if we don't mention it now, we'll forget, because by the time we get to the end, we'll be exhausted.
Yeah.
So we're both wearing a pair of Winslow Colots.
We are, which wasn't planned.
Wasn't planned. So I'm going to stand up and show you mine.
Stand up. Let's do the Winslow Colots wiggle.
The Winslow wiggle.
Have you got pockets in yours?
I've got pockets in mine. They're the biggest pockets in the world as well. They're really nice.
Did you use my hacked pocket pattern?
I just used whatever was in the envelope you gave me, because we shared the pattern, obviously.
Okay, well, the pockets on the Winslows are like elephant ears. They're just the loose, flappy ones.
Oh, yes,
I extended it so it goes into the waistband, because I don't like that flapping around, which does make them really enormous.
Yes, so I do like the pocket thing. These were inspired by your red trousers from our spring try-on, because I didn't have any red trousers. I've realised in the last couple of months that I don't have an awful lot of red in my wardrobe,
and it really suits
really suits me, but I've always erred towards pink, especially in the last couple of years, so I've been trying desperately to add some red, and I had this red double crepe in my stash for ages, like years, and I just thought, right, I'm just going to make some Winslows, and I'm really pleased with them. They are very, very comfy, and I just think they'll go with everything.
Is it a stretch crepe?
It is, no, but it is quite robust. It's quite bouncy crepe.
Yeah.
You know, you get that crepe that feels a little bit like scuba.
Yeah,
it's got
like
that volume
crepe,
to it. It just feels as if it's voluminous. And then this is the Paulette shirt from Fibre Mood.
Yes.
As well, with my massive frill all the way around, making my shoulders look even bigger, but I don't care.
And I don't know, you might have to get a bit closer to the camera but to see the print, but it's tiny little rainbow leopard print.
We'll do a video of this as well, so you can see the whole outfits from top to bottom as well.
Yeah.
So I nearly fell off my
chair. So mine's
there.
just a ready to wear t-shirt. In fact, you can tell that from the way that it's sitting on me, because as I'm sat here I can see that I've got, that's basically a sign that you need to do a bust adjustment.
But that's okay, it's a stretch.
It just means it fits my bust, but maybe the armhole's a little bit too big, and a smaller size that had been adjusted for my boobs would be a better fit. But sometimes you just got to buy off the rack and be done with it.
That's a great colour. That sort of periwinkle.
Well, that's what I love about these, is there's so many colours in them. So you've got your red, your pink, your orange, navy, and then this lovely sky blue as well. So I thought that's perfect for
beautiful.
A ready to wear t-shirt.
And you're wearing it with our yellow sandals now.
Yes.
Tell them about that. The sandals that we had from our spring try-on were my yellow sandals, and Rachel managed to find a pair on eBay.
Yes.
Exactly the same
brand
ones.
new,
brand new,
tags on them, £8. Very happy with that.
that's the find of the day. Right, okay, so this is the first shirt, but I've got 3 of them. So it's the Patterned Room, and it's called the Lucy shirt. And I wanted an oversized shirt with that kind of bowling feel, like a bowling shirt for women, with the notched collar, short sleeved. It's just got sort of like these little pleats in the back. It's really simple, but I just wanted a few of them to kind of add to my wardrobe, just to add like interest if I wanted to wear something more fancy with jeans than just a t-shirt in the summer.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic. So I'm really, really pleased with it. These buttons that look like jelly babies.
Yeah.
I just thought it just went perfectly with it. And the fabric was actually gifted to me by one of my neighbours a few years ago. We got a box of leftover vintage stuff, and it's been in that ever since, and I just think it's been perfect for that. I'm really pleased I finally got to use it. So it
is lovely. I love the colours.
Yeah.
And I think the buttons are a perfect match for it. And I'm definitely going to sew one of these as well. So I'll show you in a minute one of my shirts.
Yeah.
And I immediately thought I'd rather it had a camp collar, which is what this is here. This notched collar that opens. That's called a camp collar, which is often something you see on Hawaiian shirts and bowling shirts and that kind of thing. And I think I prefer that for this style of oversized shirt.
Yes.
So I did have another fabric earmarked to make another of the Alia shirts that I'll show you in a minute, but I'm definitely going to make this one instead.
And I've bought some more tags. So that says "Hello, gorgeous" on there. Hi. So that's the first one, and then these 2 are exactly the same. I didn't even realise I'd made 3 of them until I got them here. So this one is this lilac broderie anglais, that's the word. But again, I've had this in my stash since the beginning of last year.
I love it. I love it in the slight, because the other ones are very stiff cotton. This one's with the holes in the, even though broderie anglaise isn't massively drapey, it does, the holes give it a little bit more movement.
A little bit more drape,
and I absolutely love it in that colour, and I would just steal that.
You can hold on to it and stroke it.
Well, I need to try this on before I make it.
You do.
So, yes.
And then this one is very boring, but I just thought I just needed a really crisp white shirt.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, if that's a great pattern, it's already cut out. I bought some lovely white cotton from Minerva. They had I can't remember what it was called, but I'll link below to it. But it's a really nice crisp, it's quite a thick cotton, but it's still nice for a shirt. So I've made 3 of those, which is the Lucy shirt from the Patterned Room.
Yeah.
And we will try them on, and we will show you what they look like.
You would have seen what they look like, because we would have been putting
we'd have been doing that.
Well, sometimes we forget the order that we film this in.
Because we've not done that yet.
And also, the other thing you might be noticing is if you're expecting this to be a nice, short, succinct, professional video, then pause it now and get yourself a cup of tea, because we haven't done it for a while, and the filming we have been doing has been very, strict and, following kind of,
I'm just enjoying the chat.
Plan, and we are just really excited. So we're just going to go on and on and on and on
until we run out of battery life with the camera. Right. You show us something.
Well, let me show you my shirt then, because I think this is what inspired yours.
Yes, it was.
So this is the Fibre Mood Alia, whatever you say.
Oh, hold on. I think maybe that's an Alia. I think that is.
That is, yes, because that's got a different,
Yes, that's an
okay.
yes. Ignore me. It's the that's the same
I
one.
don't need to try that one on.
No, because you know
that it
fits you. And I've only made 2 of the other ones. I thought I was confused.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I didn't even notice it.
Brain fog.
Colour.
Sorry.
So the difference between the Lucy and the Alia is that the Alia has a standard collar, shirt collar, so it has a collar band,
and then on this one you've got them notched. So you can see them next to each other.
They're both really, really simple patterns, and if you're new to shirt making, then these would be perfect for you. The fact that they're oversized means that you don't have to worry about fitting.
Yeah.
In fact, with the Fibre Mood one, I'm sure it's the same with the Lucy, the Fibre Mood have been saying if you don't like the oversized nature, you can size down 2 sizes. Wow. So that gives you an idea of how oversized it is. Yeah. I had these fabrics. I've got this one and a cowboy boot one, and I fancied and that kind of sort of Hawaiian shirt type thing, 80s shirt type thing, oversized but with really funky bold prints. Yes. And I think it's perfect for this one. The whole point of a quick shirt like this is I didn't want to worry about pattern matching, so I haven't made sure that my faces meet right across the front. Life's too short for that sometimes. No, exactly. And it's a busy enough print.
It's a busy print.
Only other sewers would notice, and that's potentially an extra couple of hours of your time, which, it's up to you whether you choose to spend time on that. For me, it's not important. Yeah. But they're very similar construction, both of the shirts, in that it's a grown-on sleeve. In fact, your one, the Lucy, actually has a separate sleeve piece. Yes. But they both have this yoke seam going across the back. So all that means is that the back is comprised of 2 parts, the lower back and the yoke, and the front is just 1 part.
So it's super quick.
Yeah, but if you haven't sewn a shirt before and you feel in any way nervous, then the companion shirt making that we mentioned earlier on will definitely help you through it, give you some great tips for how to get really nice, neat collars and how to get nice plackets. We cover all different variations of kind of collars, plackets, openings, cuffs, all that kind of thing. So it literally covers everything. Yeah. I love the slightly longer hem on the back of this.
It's kind of high-low slightly.
Yeah, just slightly, but I do really like that. And I like the length is just long enough that you could tuck it in. Yes. But it's also really nice to wear out. It's so not too long. Lots of options. Yeah. Yes. Perfect. So I love this one, but I have decided, as I said, for my second fabric, the cowboy boot fabric, I'm going to make the Lucy instead.
Yes, so I'll have to get you to try that one on and say whether you like it. Right.
So, what's up next for you then, lady?
What's up next to me? So I'm going to do another white one. So this is the Sagebrush, which is from Friday Pattern Company. And I know that everybody's made it. I feel like I'm jumping on the bandwagon a little bit late. But it is lovely. And I just decided that this fabric, because I'd bought it in one of our fabric hauls a few months ago, and I wanted something boxy. I wanted something, again, I could just chuck on with jeans or with a pair of culottes, but that would show off the fabric. And I felt that this with the big sleeves, and because it has this big panel, it doesn't have a button placket or anything down the front, I felt as if it would just show off the fabric. Yeah. And I'm really pleased with it. It's got this lovely little sort of tie at the back. Yeah. And again, it was really quick to make. I'm just obsessed with shirts. Little blouses and shirts.
Question for you. The elastic in the cuff, was that in the pattern, or were you supposed to put a little cuff on it, a little band?
I think it was supposed to be a little band, but I love elastic in the cuff.
So much quicker.
Yeah, and you can make it
more comfy.
And it pulls it in properly. It's more comfortable. Even. Yeah, I was slightly worried. It's got an 4-inch hem on it, 4-inch hem on it, and so when I was looking at it, I was thinking it still looks like a night dress. I couldn't figure out why it was so long, and then I figured out actually it's got a 4-inch hem, but that makes it kind of sit really nicely, and I quite like that big chunky hem at the bottom. Yeah. So I'm really pleased with that one, and
you should be. You made me think about the Sagebrush slightly differently with that one, because I love them. Don't get me wrong. I've seen a lot of people wearing them, and they always look quite sweet. That kind of very, very girly. More kind of girly than I'm feeling at the moment. I tend to be drawn to more kind of masculine or modern
oversized
silhouettes. Yes. But then what I love is because you've done it in this black and white geometric pattern, then it really balances the little frill and
the big sleeves.
So
it kind of takes it away from being too overly cutesy. I think
that's the word I was looking for.
It gives it a slightly harder edge. But it's still, I just think it's such a wearable top.
Yeah, Yeah, it's lovely. Really nice.
Yes.
Really nice.
What's next for you?
Well, I've got another top here, which if you've seen my Instagram, you would have seen. But this is my Fibre Mood Norma. So again, inspired by our spring trends.
Yes.
I tried on your yellow one, your egg yolk yellow one,
Cute,
and I loved it so much.
Yes.
But I thought I definitely need one. And if you're looking for a quick, simple, satisfying make, this is it. I swear, once you've made it once, you could easily cut it and sew it in a couple of hours.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just so simple.
Yeah.
And I've had this fabric in my stash for years, for about 5 years. And the funny thing is, I originally bought it to make a little dress for my daughter. That's how long ago it was. It might be longer than 5 years.
Who's now 13.
Yeah, and in that time, it's now me that loves wearing the rainbows as much as I would expect a child to. So, I really, really love it. It's a quilting fabric, so it's just kind of like a quilting weight poplin. But I think it works really nicely because with this, what you want is something that is sharp enough to give you a really nice defined V-neck.
Yeah,
and
to
you
handle
want
the buttons.
The sleeve, the fullness of the sleeve. You want to be able to see that, and if it's too drapey, you kind of lose that sometimes.
Yeah, you do.
So I think this works really nicely. And then because I didn't want to detract from any of the colours on the front, and I didn't have any buttons that would have matched otherwise, so I went for these clear plastic ones. They've got a slight kind of black edge to them, or really darker edge, but it just means they don't interrupt the fabric really.
No, or kind of like point to one colour or another. The other thing I like about the Norma is it takes very little fabric.
Yeah.
It's about 1.5 meters of fabric that it takes. And even when you were you didn't have very much fabric for this, I remember, and because it was narrow, and you were trying to pattern match it with the stripes so that your stripes were kind of similar.
Same on both sides, yes. So it's a quilting width fabric, so I think it's 112, and had 2 meters.
Yes.
So that's probably the equivalent of having 1.5 meters of a wider fabric.
Yeah.
So,
it doesn't take an awful lot of fabric.
Yeah, but what I love about it is that it hits exactly where I like it to. It's oversized but not too much, and again did the lazy option of elastic because Nikki had done that on one of hers, and I did really like it, and it does save a lot of time, but also it's comfy.
It's comfy.
But all I did, because I wanted to have exactly the same look, is I measured the cuff piece and cut my elastic to exactly that, so it was cinching it in exactly how much it was supposed to. So by the time you've joined your elastic, it's the same as the seam allowance on sewing the cuff. Yeah. So you end up with exactly the same shape.
I love it.
Yes, it is lovely. It's very, very lovely.
Shall we?
One little thing I should mention on this. When I tried Nikki's on, I found it was a little bit gapey at the bust, and I didn't want to have to bother with the bust adjustment. So all I did is cut the seam allowance down the centre front in half. So I think I was down to like 1/4 inch, just down that front edge. And it only gave me an extra 1/2 inch overall, but it was enough to stop it from gaping.
Yes, amazing. Should we do another shirt? I'm nearly finished on my shirts, but we'll do one more. This is another Fibre Mood one, and this is another fabric from a fabric haul which we did before Christmas, I think. So this was from Samantha Claridge Fabrics, and this is the raisin from Fibre Mood. And again, I just loved it for its drapiness, but I thought that this fabric would just look amazing in it, because you've got this frill going all the way around and then up to the front here, and then you've got these big sleeves as well. And I have tried this one on, but again, I haven't worn any of these things because the weather here has been horrendous, so it's not been nice enough to wear lovely things like these.
Well, we haven't had anywhere to go until recently. Things have only just opened up, so
yeah, exactly. So, but I'm looking forward to wearing it.
Am I right in thinking that this seam here goes above the bust?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I think it has to be made in a drapey fabric like that, because
otherwise it'll just stand out.
If you're older or if you've got a full bust, then you wouldn't want to do it in anything too boxy. You definitely want something drapey.
No.
I'm going to have to try that one on as well, because I'm excited to see what I'm interested to see what the neckline shape looks like.
Yeah, I liked this with the placket on the front and everything. And again, that was really quick. Apart from the gathering.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of gathering. So if you like gathering, this is the shirt for you. If you don't, then maybe not. Maybe pick one of the other ones. But there's a lot of gathering. But there's very little pieces. Yeah. So, but most of your time is spent gathering everything together.
Okay. Well, should we just do the last? You've got one more top here.
Let's do one more top. So this is a free pattern, which is from Peppermint. and it's the Peppermint magazine, and it's the ruffle sleeve top because it has ruffle sleeves on it. And this is another super simple one because again it's not got any buttons or anything like that. It's just pull over the head, there's no zips or anything, but you've got this lovely V-neck and you've got a lovely facing inside to take care of everything. And
it's a big facing,
it is a big facing.
Oh, it's like a part lining.
Yeah, it comes down past like the bust, like a half lining. I'm showing everyone my nicely done seams. My inside bits.
They're respectable.
Phew! Thank goodness for that. But yeah, so again, this is another one. I think this one might be it's more in betweeny, I think, because it is a slightly heavier fabric, and because it's so long sleeved, it might be one that I wear on chillier days rather than a proper short sleeved one, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But I really like it, and it was fabric that was in my stash. I've been using lots of stash fabric, and this was from Fabrics Galore ages ago.
Oh, it's very cool. I like the fruit and the flowers together. Again, I'm going to have to try that one on because that's the sort of top that I would shy away from because I find that style of top is notoriously bad fit for me. I find that the bust darts are usually in the wrong place or pointing to the wrong place. It's not creating the right shaping. And those things really wind me up.
Sounds like we're doing a double try on stuff.
Yes, there we are. So I'm going to have to obviously try that on and see if I've made that assumption correctly or incorrectly.
Yes, or incorrectly. And I think we both have bobs.
Bobs.
We're obsessed with bobs.
Well, if you've ever watched, it's Danish and Swedish, I think, and it's that cop. So there's an older cop.
The bridge,
yeah.
Yes.
And but in that they end up saying Bob quite a lot. Bob. And so I can't say Bob without saying
that.
Bob. Anyway, unless people have watched it, they won't have a clue what I'm on about.
I have watched it.
I have made another pair of bobs.
And I've made my third pair of bobs.
Yay! So yeah, I think we've both now got 3 pairs of bobs.
Yes.
I made my pink and red striped ones, which I have worn once and then don't like. They're now my house trousers, like pyjamas I could wear out the house if I needed to. I wear my scuba ones all the time.
Yeah, she does, yes. And because they're so gorgeous.
And these I wear all the time as well.
Yeah.
So these are made out of a linen look fabric. So it's actually a polyester. But
nice.
it's a polyester cotton blend.
Yeah.
But linen look and a kind of denim colour because I wanted something that was a comfy alternative to jeans.
Yeah.
But having made a couple of pairs before, I knew what I needed to do to get it to the point where I was happy, and I did use the length and shorten line this time, and I took 2 inches off, but I wanted to preserve that little curved shape at the bottom of the hem where it kind of twists in.
Yeah.
So I did that at the length and shorten line and then just kind of connected the lines.
Yes.
Now they're the perfect kind of length for me because I like to see a little bit of ankle, and you get that anyway, but for me, they're a tiny bit long.
Yeah. These ones are just a third pair that I made out of some leftover fabric. So I have a 3/4 made bomber jacket out of this fabric that is currently sitting on my mannequin, and I think it's basically now swearing at me because I haven't literally gone no further with it. But the fabric is from Fabworks ages ago, and it's like a coating fabric. But it's not even a coating fabric. It's like it's a suiting fabric. But
you got it from Fabworks.
Yes.
Same time I got my pink and red mohair.
Yes.
We were both going to make that coat.
Yes.
But when the fabric arrived, we didn't think it was right for that style of coat. And now you've got a suit.
I've now got a suit if I ever finish this damned jacket.
Yes.
But anyway, so the bobs are finished. At least I got those ones finished. But I like the neutral colour.
Yeah.
I think I can kind of play with it with colourful jackets and t-shirts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and I'm just glad I got another pair out of some fabric that was left over. So
yeah, it's really cool. And they look, because they're in this kind of fancy kind of, I think this is a wool suiting.
Yes.
And I think that it makes them look quite luxe. So even they're like luxe trackies type thing. Yes. But I really like them. The only thing I would have to do, it would drive me crazy otherwise, is for me, all that ruching on the waistband is far too bulky.
Oh, right,
It would just make me look bigger than I am. So if it was me, I would have to pull it tight and then stitch a few rows.
I've stitched
it a bit like on it, like I've done on this one.
On that, I could do. I think
it would just make it sit a lot flatter, which would maintain that luxe look.
I think it's literally how it is on the hanger, so it just depends. And again, I don't think I've actually tried these on, because these are my third pair. I made them, put them on the hanger, I put them in my wardrobe. So I will try them on today for the first time.
If they don't work out, I'll have them on.
Yes, okay, we can share them. Right.
Well, you've got a couple more trousers here. I've got 1.5. So why don't you show us the trousers that you've got there?
So I've got 2 pairs of trousers. The first one is, guess what? Another fibre mood pattern. I'm slightly obsessed. These are the Babettes, which is made out of this lovely kind of corally red. Again, my red obsession is coming back. Corally red stretched denim, and I've made some fancy pockets on the back. And they're kind of a 3/4 length style with a straight leg, and I really like them. They are a really nice pattern, but they are a bit more complex with it being a proper fly zip and everything like that. But
we tried them on for that photo shoot that we did when we mixed and matched we ended up having Matt coordinating separate. So we've got our Miami nice blazers, our fruity blazers from a few years ago, and I made a coral one and you made a yellow one, and then I made yellow dawn jeans and you made coral jeans. And when I saw you making these, because we had a sew day, didn't we?
We did,
and I just remember thinking how similar they were to the Dawns. They're flat front, cropped, wide leg trouser. And then it clicked that we could do coordinating separates. So that was really fun. Although when I had to try those on, they're not nearly as forgiving on the old tummy area as I found the Dawns are. But that's because they've been hacked to fit me specifically, and they weren't.
Yeah, we'll see how swollen my menopause tummy is today as to how comfortable they are when I put them on. And then my last pair of culottes. I'm culotte mad. I've gone separate mad. That's the thing. I've stopped making dresses because I've got a lot of dresses, and I've gone a bit separate mad. So these are the Heron Colots by Afternoon Patterns, and I really, really like them. They've got these lovely box pleats at the front, they've got pockets, they're a nice wide leg, and they've got a little invisible zip at the back with a button, and they are just so lovely. And I think if I'm going to make another pair of culottes, I think it will be these. Because and this fabric was in my stash, I was saying to Rachel, for about 5 years. I think I bought it from John Lewis in their sale, and it was just sitting there doing nothing, and I thought, that's perfect, really. So, and I'm really pleased. It was just like the right thing at the right time. So
I absolutely love them. I just think they're so fun, and I love the pattern and the fabric together.
Happy trousers.
They are gorgeous.
So I'm excited to show you them. Rachel's not seen any of these things on. I've
because
seen your shirts on, and but that's about it.
Well, I've
really
made much fewer things, and I have shared most of them on Instagram, so you've seen them that way if nothing else. But most of this sewing was done whilst we still couldn't actually see each other. So
this is all
just meant that we didn't get to actually see what we were making. And I had no idea she'd sewn so much. It wasn't until we got here and she got out all this stuff, I was like, what? When did you make all of this?
I've been quite productive.
Yes.
Anyway,
so my final made thing, finished
you've
thing.
got one more.
Well, half made. That's. Oh yes. Okay. So I've got a couple more things. So this is the Lea. I have to say Lea all the time because of Star Wars. But this is the Lea Layer Jumpsuit from Fibre Mood. And I wanted, a boiler suit really, and I wanted a boiler suit, I wanted a linen one, and I definitely needed more purple in my wardrobe, so this one was a Marriage Made in Heaven. This isn't actually a linen, it's a cotton linen blend from Minerva, but I wanted something that had that kind of washed look, so if you look closer you can see that it's got kind of visible creases, like where the colour has kind of shifted a little bit. But I think for me that adds to the appeal of linen, and I particularly like that washed look.
It gives it a slightly two-tone, because you're catching the pink in it when on the lighter fibres, when it's got that sort of slub look, it almost looks like it's slightly two-tone, and I think it might lighten quite nicely when you're washing it.
Well, it's a bit like denim. I like the fact that it will constantly change. And it will get a bit more washed out, but the reason I chose the cotton is because it's like creases slightly less, and I find that boiler suits crease a lot, because obviously when you sit down you've got all that excess in the middle, and so I find they get really, really creased. So I wanted something that wouldn't crease as much, but I absolutely love it. I ummed and ahed with different jumpsuits for a while. I wanted a zip up one. I've made the JP boiler suit, the John Paul boiler suit by Ready to Sew, but it's just kind of a standard sleeve, and it's also a wider leg, and I thought I wanted a tapered leg. But actually, once it was finished, I gave very deep turn ups both on the sleeve and on the cuff, because that, to me, that's the most flattering kind of length. But I absolutely love it. I made a size 16 or 42, I think it is, in Fibre Mood. But I just wanted something that was a little bit more oversized and comfortable. And I ummed and ahed for ages because this one doesn't have a cuff on it. I could put a cuff on the end of it. Usually I would adjust I would go for a bigger size on the bottom, a smaller size on the top. But I'm really glad that I just went for the straight size, larger size, because I do find with something like this, the more movement you have in the whole thing, the more comfy it is to wear. So I wore it out for a girls' night out on Friday. And I just wore it with trainers, but I still felt quite glam, even though I could easily have turned up to go and paint somebody's house.
Can I'm just going to interject there. She just said she still felt quite glam. She looked amazing. You looked absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you, darling.
So even though we were just in our local pub, you looked stunning.
Thank you. But I definitely need more of these. I've already checked to see what other colours Minerva have of this fabric. And I'm going to do a lime green and a kind of, they call it turquoise, but on the screen it looks more to me like a lighter teal colour. So I think those definitely need to happen.
Nice.
And they've also got a cerise pink, so maybe I might need all of those.
Maybe.
But I'm on a fabric buying ban at the moment because I've got far too many projects to sew. Until I've sewn some more of those, I'm not buying anymore. But assuming they've still got it when it's done, I'm definitely making more of these.
Well, she looked so gorgeous on Friday night that she inspired me that I needed not necessarily a boiler suit. I think I need to try that on to see how I feel in it. With me and my body dysmorphia, I'm not sure if I would feel too manly in it, so I maybe need to try it on.
I think it's the absolute opposite. I mean, I've now got short hair and I don't feel manly, and I think that often it's those kind of boiler suits that really suit people that are very tall, because it requires sometimes that more sort of model aesthetic to pull off those kind of styles. And you've got the height and you've got the shoulders, and so everything looks great on you. So it will definitely look good.
Just the rest of it could do with being fixed.
And I'm sorry, but did anyone that glamorous ever think they're manly?
Wow.
With hair like that?
Just me. It's just my own thing. But anyway, so I decided I needed some kind of jumpsuit. So I was going to make something, and I woke up, I was literally in bed on Saturday morning looking at jumpsuits and went, I've never made the Zadie. We've never made the Zadie, and I feel like I know we're late to the game, but I went, right, boom, and the Zadie then jumped to the top of my queue above all 14 things.
Did you even have it, or did you have to buy it, print it, stick it together,
cut the fabric out, made it in the weekend?
You must have really wanted to make it.
But it's such a simple pattern, and there's no zips, there's no closings or anything like that. Again, this is a fabric from my recent stash, recent stuff that I've bought, and it is super comfortable. I really love this kind of curved the waistline that comes round. It just makes it it's really comfortable. I've put the sleeve on it, but I am still umming and ahhing about whether I'll make that a bit shorter, or even if I'll take it off. I just wasn't sure, but I'll try it on today and see what Rachel thinks. And I have tried it on, and I do love it.
I think it's really gorgeous in this fabric because it's like it would give you the glamour of a dress.
Yes.
But you haven't really made that much of an effort, and it's really comfy. And I think you could stick it on with trainers and feel quite casual in it. But then you could also put it on with heels
and be glam.
It's the sort of thing that it's glam enough. You could wear it to a wedding if you styled it right, but you could equally just wear it down the park.
I've got bum flowers.
Ooh, yes, lovely.
I didn't notice that until today.
Make sure you take a picture of your bum flowers.
I don't care about bum flowers. But anyway, we'll have shown you this already in a little video. But yes, it's very exciting. So that was my this wasn't on the list but had to be made now. And we've all been there, we've all had those things. So that's it. You've got one final thing to show us.
Well, I've got a couple of things to show you because I've got a work in progress. I just thought it's nearly there, and I've been really struggling to find the time when I feel well enough to finish it, but I'm so excited about it.
It is
so
gorgeous.
These are the chambres that I bought from Fabric Galore recently. I bought chambres in a mint green, a pink, a yellow, a red, and a denim blue. And so this is the colour blocked shirt that I'm in the process of making, and I'm so excited about it.
It's the Lauren, isn't it?
It's basically going to be a mirror. So the green goes on the top portion of the sleeve there, and then the pink on this side, and then the red to match the collar will be the cuff, but it folds back to the denim to match the pocket, and the same on this side. So it would be completely symmetrical. I cut the collar from one fabric, thinking it would be, one colour underneath and one colour on top. And when I laid it on, I thought, no, it's not going to work because it needs to be the opposites all the way along. So I ended up cutting a new collar that I could make in half.
It's beautiful.
I could have done the same with the yoke, but I decided that's on the back. Care. But it is red on the inside, so it's kind of evenly distributed throughout, and I cannot wait because I love the proportions of this shirt. I hadn't even tried on your Lauren boyfriend, so I should have said it's a Style Up Lauren boyfriend shirt. Nikki made an amazing patchwork version from different men's shirtings.
I cut mine into different sections, whereas Rachel's kept it all in one piece.
I fancied using all the same fabrics, so they're all chambres, they're all the same weight. I initially wanted to do this with thrifted men's shirts, but what I was really struggling with was to find fabrics that were shirts that were A, in the colour that I wanted, and B, in the right weights. So I'd find a really nice drapey lightweight one like a chambray or something, and then I'd find a really heavy twill, and it was just not going to have quite the same look. So I'm really excited. I love the massive high-low hem and the big curve on the back.
It's such a great shirt. I've got a blue stripe one that I need to make, so I need to get that pattern off you when you're finished with it.
Well, I'm done with the pattern. I just need to finish with the sewing. But just so you know, I've got half a metre of each of the chambres.
And that was enough.
I've got quite a bit left of the pink and the green, because all I cut was a front and a top portion of the sleeve each. And I've also got quite a bit of the yellow left as well, because I cut both back portions from that and the placket, but that's it. So it's more than enough, but if you fancy doing some sort of colour blocked version of something yourself, that gives you an idea of how much you would need.
That just shows
I'm hoping to finish this weekend.
How versatile that pattern is. So, neither of us have made it in a standard all the same fabric yet.
No, it would be lovely in that.
I'm going to make the stripy one, but I'm going to make the stripes go in all different directions. So it's just really interesting. There's lots of pieces. And I think there's a lot, because it's got that big oversized look to it. It just carries it really well.
Although I've stuck your pattern back together because it had all been cut into diagonals and stuff. So I've stuck it back together, but then I actually cut the placket. It had a self-folding placket, and I cut that off and added seam allowance because I wanted a contrast placket. So you're going to have to undo, but I'll put it back you gave it to me.
No, because I'll have a contrast placket as well, because I'll have the stripes going in different directions. Cool. So just leave it.
Lovely. So you can still see your diagonal lines. You can just cut them
that's
back.
Fine. That's fine.
Although I peeled off your extra seam allowance so I could stick it on my placket. I reused your seam allowance paper, so you have to do that. Okay. This is what happens when you share patterns. And then the final thing that I've got to show you is actually a bag that I made. Woo-hoo! So a few weeks back, I fancied doing some sewing, and I just fancied something different. I wanted to make a bag, and I've been seeing this little style of bucket bag a lot on fancy websites. So Wolf and Badger have got loads of them, and they cost like £250, £300 or something. And I thought, well, that's just it. I mean, these are for real leather ones. But I knew that we had some faux leather in a range of different colours left over from when we taught actual classes, so we probably had it for years. And I thought, I'll give that a whirl. And my genome machine, I've got I've got the Atelier 7 with the integrated walking foot, sews even the stickiest of pleathers like an absolute dream. So it was no trouble at all. So I basically just kind of made it up as I went along. So I cut myself an oval for the bottom. And then I just kind of figured it out from there. So I cut a rectangle, but then I tapered it in, and then I added enough seam allowance to be able to fold it back on itself to create this top.
Yeah.
I wanted that seam running along the bottom there, so I cut that separately, made some piping to go around the bottom, and then I made these little drawstrings to feed through, and then just a little kind of loop with a thingy there. So because it is just basic pleather, it's not finished or anything, but this is kind of like a prototype to see.
It's lovely.
If I liked it. But the only bit that was tricky to sew was when I was trying to make the piping cord, because you've got such a thin part, so the feed dogs and the walking foot couldn't really grip it, and I'm sewing on the sticky side of the pleather as well. So as I was just sandwiching the piping cord inside the strip of pleather, it was sticking like you would not believe, and the stitches were all small and pinchy, but I knew all I needed to do was get through that, and you weren't going to see any of it. On everything else, everything was done either on the right side of the fabric, the wrong side of the fabric, or with right sides together, which meant you didn't have to worry about the sticky thing. I thought it might struggle a little bit sewing these tiny little ties, but you can see how neat, I don't know if you can see how neat the stitching is.
Just do that
on there we go. Just really neat and even, so I was really very impressed, and I wear it a lot. The only downside with my little design flaw, is because this is so sticky, it doesn't move in and out of the channel as freely as I would like. And to get the effect, you need it to be gathered in a little bit. So what I've done is I've gathered it in so it's enough to get the shape, but that I can tie it and leave it there. So that just means I've got a small area to get my hand in and out. So sometimes trying to get my purse out in a hurry is a bit tricky.
It's like Mary Poppins. Who knows what's going to come out of that bag?
Yes. It's the sort of thing, now I've made it, I would love to have a go making one out of an actual leather. A nice soft buttery leather would be lovely, and then it wouldn't be as sticky. But yeah, that's my final thing.
Amazing. I love it. Excellent. Right. I don't know about you, I'm exhausted.
I know. I'm looking at the time on the video, and we're up to 48 minutes now, and we're not going to edit any of this really. So, so hopefully you've enjoyed it. You've enjoyed seeing all of our makes. I didn't know how many, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 items.
17,
18, 19. And Nick has already told you she's got 14 things on her sew list. I've probably got the same. So the next video will probably be even longer and wafflier.
Just as massive. So it's exciting. What have you got cut out? Are you going to finish your shirt?
I'm going to finish my shirt. The next 3 projects that I've got ready to go is I'm going to sew the Fibre Mood Mindy out of that lovely colourful viscose that I got, the one that was really creased.
Washed
beautifully. That's all
lovely.
fine.
Yes.
And then I think I'm going to make the Lucy shirt out of my cowboy boot fabric.
Yes, I'll give you the pattern.
And then there's one more thing, fabric that's washed and ready to go, but I can't remember now, so you have to wait and see.
I've got my luxe pyjamas cut out. So I've decided I'm making, this is for my birthday lunch. I'm having a birthday dinner, a birthday lunch, and then a birthday picture. So I'm making 3 different outfits for all of them. But the pyjamas are basically... It's a big birthday. I'm 50. So just keep that quiet. And I'm making it's a pair of trousers from a commercial pattern. I can't remember what it was. I'll put it below. And then I'm making the Carolyn pyjama top to go with it.
Excellent.
So they'll both be matching fabrics with trainers, really comfy, in that beautiful white leaf fabric that I got from my last fabric haul. So yes, it's all happening. That's what I'm making this weekend.
Excellent. I think we should do some kind of luxury pyjama photo shoot for you as well.
Yes.
I think you have to be being all glamorous.
Yes.
In your luxury pyjamas, doing glamorous things.
Being fed things.
Like being like feeding yourself a tray of beautiful coloured macaroons and sipping on champagne.
Lying
and I'll get some like half naked, oiled up men to waft you with feathers and things, big fans.
Yes. Anyway, we'll leave you with that delicious thought. Whether it was the macaroons or the oiled up men, you can choose which you prefer.
They can feed you your macaroons. Let's combine the two.
Have a great weekend, and we'll see you on our next video.
Bye. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for lots more sewing and style content.